this lecture 16, we derive the operating point and stability factors for voltage divider bias. This is very, very important, and this voltage divider bias we will be using in the real-time applications when constructing a CE amplifier circuit. Okay. A CE amplifier using voltage divider bias is shown in figure below. So here we have got the biasing elements are R1, R2 and RE, R1, R2 and RE, and the remaining RC is your load resistor, and the transistor is there, and the input is AC VI, output is AC output V0, and these are connected to the transistor circuit by the coupling capacitors C1 and C2, and the biasing DC voltage is VCC. Okay, so this is the circuit diagram. In this method, the biasing is provided by three resistors R1, R2 and RE. The resistor R1 and R2 acts as a potential divider, giving a fixed voltage to the base. So if you see these two resistors R1 and R2, R1 and R2 are connected from the power supply VCC. R1 is connected, then R2 is connected, both are in series, and the voltage across R2 and this R2 other end is connected to the ground. So this is like a voltage divider network. Voltage divider network will have a voltage source, and there are two resistors connected in series, and this voltage is divided among the two resistors, and whatever the voltage that is across R2 is given to the base circuit. Okay, so that means the voltage across the resistor R2 is provided as a fixed voltage to the base of the transistor. So this network we call it as a voltage divider network. Okay, voltage divider network, and voltage is divided across the resistor R2, and it is provided as a fixed voltage to the base, voltage divider network. Okay. So if the collector current increases due to change in temperature or change in beta, the emitter current also increases and the voltage drop across RE increases. So reducing the voltage difference between the base and emitter. Okay. Now what happens here, apart from this R1 and R2, there is one more resistor that is connected in the emitter region. So this is the emitter of the transistor, and emitter of the transistor and the other end is connected to the ground. This is your emitter resistor is there. So this emitter resistor, what happens is, if the collector current increases, what happens? It also increases the emitter current also, right? So if emitter current increases, then the voltage drop across this, this is emitter current that is flowing in this resistor. Then the voltage drop across this one is VE is equal to IE into RE. Okay. So if IE increases, then your VE also increases. That will reduce the VBE value, so that by reduction in the VBE, the base current and hence collector current also reduces. This VBE decreases. Now VBE decreases, what happens is IB decreases. If IB decreases, again IC decreasing. That means what? Increase in the IC is converted to decrease in IC with the help of the emitter resistance and the drop across the emitter resistance. So that is the way how the any increase in the collector current is again made to decrease in the collector current because of this emitter resistance. Okay, so therefore we can say that a negative feedback exists in the emitter bias circuit. We can say that negative feedback exists in the emitter bias circuit. This reduction in the collector current IC components for the original change in IC. So that means because of this emitter resistance, which is acting like a feedback. Okay, negative feedback. So any increase in collector current, because of this negative feedback, it is again bringing back to the normal value. So it is like a compensation. It is like compensating, increasing. It is having the ability to increase, but because of this resistor, it is pulling down again back to its original position. So that's what we call it as a negative feedback because of this emitter resistance RE. So all these three resistors R1, R2, RE, all these three are providing the required biasing for this circuit. That's why it is called this is called voltage divider bias because of these two resistors, and because of this resistance, this is also called as self emitter bias. Okay, so the other names for this voltage divider bias are self bias or emitter bias or so. Okay, like that. So then the circuit diagram, AC circuit is AC, the amplifier circuit is there. This is a CE amplifier which has got AC input as well as DC input. Now the DC equivalent can be obtained by making AC source 0, and the capacitance of the reactance is as open circuit, that is infinity. By applying these two, we will get the remaining circuit as a DC equivalent circuit. So this portion of the circuit is removed. This portion of the circuit is removed by making these capacitors open. This capacitor is open by disconnecting the input signal. Disconnect the AC signal. Okay. Then you will be getting the DC equivalent like this. Now this DC equivalent, we have to do the analysis, circuit analysis, to write the base emitter circuit separately and collector emitter circuit separately, and write the KVL equations and do the analysis to calculate the operating point. Okay, that analysis is very important. This particular voltage divider bias. This circuit, what happens here is the base emitter circuit has got the voltage divider network, right? Now I want, this is your base emitter circuit. This is your input circuit. Now to get this input circuit here, between this base and the ground, okay, between the base and ground, and emitter is here, but emitter to ground, again there is one resistor is there. So this particular, here I have to find out how much is the, what is the entire network that is there here. I want to find out the network here. So for that, what I have to do is, if you just rearrange this is plus VCC is a battery. That battery is represented like this. And these resistors R1 and R2 are in series. This resistor R1 is there and R2 is there. And whatever the voltage across R2 is connected to the base circuit, therefore it is connected to the base circuit. So this entire portion of the circuit, this portion of the circuit, okay, this portion of the circuit is just replaced here, like this. Now, if you look from these terminals, base and ground terminals, if you look into that, we will be applying the Thevenin's theorem here to this circuit, so that we will be getting Thevenin voltage and Thevenin resistance, so that this entire circuit is replaced by a voltage source in series with a resistance, and the voltage source is a Thevenin equivalent Thevenin voltage, and the resistance is Thevenin equivalent resistance R Thevenin, V Thevenin and R Thevenin. Okay, now to apply the Thevenin's theorem, what is that we have to do? We have to short circuit the voltage source and calculate the equivalent resistance seen from the open circuited terminals. Open circuited terminal is between base and ground. If you look into this, if you open circuit and just short circuit the voltage source, short circuiting the voltage source will become like this. And if you see the equivalent circuit from this one, these two resistors will be in parallel, then R Thevenin is equal to R1 parallel with R2. That we got it as equation number 2. And if you want to calculate the Thevenin voltage, just you replace the voltage source as it is and calculate the equivalent voltage across the resistor R2, which is nothing but voltage divider network. So voltage divider network, the voltage across R2 is equal to total voltage into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Then that is equal to your Thevenin voltage V Thevenin given by the equation 1. So this is either E Thevenin or V Thevenin, whatever it may be. Okay. So V Thevenin or E Thevenin both are same. Now equation number 1 and equation number 2 gives you the Thevenin voltage and Thevenin resistance. And now this entire network is replaced by a Thevenin voltage in series with Thevenin resistance. Therefore V Thevenin in series with R Thevenin, it is connected to the base of the transistor circuit. Now this circuit in clockwise direction, if you take, this will become base emitter loop. If you apply the KVL to this base emitter loop in the clockwise direction, then you will get it as minus V Thevenin plus I Thevenin into IB into R Thevenin, IB into R Thevenin plus VBE is equal to 0. Here what R Thevenin is actually connected in the base circuit, so therefore I will name it as RB also. Okay, so the same equation will become V Thevenin. If you take the take the V Thevenin to the other side, V Thevenin is equal to IB RB plus VB. The same thing is written here. Okay, and plus this resistor is also there. No, resistor is also there. You have to add that resistance voltage across the resistance as plus IE RE is equal to 0. So this is the VBE plus IE RE. IE already you know, IE is equal to IB plus IC. Just substitute IE is equal to IB plus IC. You will get IE RE as IB plus IC into RE. So the center is the KVL equation to the base emitter loop. Then rearranging this and substituting the value of IC as beta times of beta times of IB, beta times of IB, then you will get it as IB value like this. Then IC will be beta times of this one. Okay, so IB and IC we got it from the KVL equation to the base emitter loop. To get the base emitter circuit, we just applied the Thevenin's theorem. Then the Thevenin equivalent of voltage is V Thevenin is equal to R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into VCC, and R Thevenin is equal to R1 parallel with R2 is R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. We call this R Thevenin as RB also, R base resistance RB. Therefore, we have got the KVL equation, and thereby we derived the expression for IB and IC. Then this is what is your operating point y-intercept. Equation number 4 is operating point y-intercept. Then collector circuit, if you take, this is the collector circuit which has got VCC, then ICRC, then VCE, then IERE. So here it is VCC, ICRC and IERE. Resistor is missing here. You can just connect a resistor. IERE. Okay, so minus VCC plus ICRC plus VCE plus IERE. If you write it in the anti-clockwise direction like this, then you will get the equation as minus VCC plus ICRC plus VCE plus IERE is equal to 0. Is it okay? So then you will get from this equation PCE is equal to here ICRC is there, IERE is there. I am taking IE is equal to IC, or you can even write IB plus IC and IB is equal to IC by beta. That accurate also you can write, but I have approximated simply because IB is very small, IE and IC are same. Then I can just replace this IE by IC. Then I got the expression is equation number 5, which is the operating point ICQ and VCEQ operating point. We got it. So by writing the KVL to the input circuit and KVL to the output circuit. Okay. Then coming to the stability factor S, stability factor S can be calculated by again writing the KVL to the base emitter circuit. We got the IB expression, right? So you differentiate this IB expression with respect to IC, then you will get minus RE by RB plus RG. Then your stability factor formula is already available, 1 plus beta by 1 minus beta into dou IB by dou IC. That can be written as 1 plus beta by 1 plus beta into that dou IB by dou IC value. If you substitute here, if you substitute there, then you will get that equation as equation number 6. Again, this equation number 6 stability factor, yes, depends on RB and RE. You have to suitably choose this RB and RE values, such that your stability factor will be as small as possible. Okay, and I have given some example also here. If RB by RE is very much less than 1, then it has become the stability factor as 1. Okay, and practically RB and by RE is not equal to 0, but to have better stability, we must keep this ratio of RB by RE as small as possible. That means RB should be small, RE should be large. And the stability factor for this voltage divider bias is less compared to other biasing circuits studied. So this circuit is mostly used circuit, very, very important circuit. So in all the amplifiers, we will be using voltage divider bias. Okay, that is about S. Next, coming to S dash, you already know S dash is equal to IC by dou VBE into IC naught when IC naught and IB beta are kept constant. Now you know already what is the expression for IC in terms of VBE. Differentiating this equation with respect to VBE, the first term is anyhow constant 0. This first term, if you multiply beta into V Thevenin by RB plus 1 plus beta into RC minus beta into VBE by RB plus 1 plus beta into RC. So this term is constant. The differentiation, if you do it, 0 minus beta VBE is a variable, remaining entire thing is a constant. So simply you will get minus beta by RB plus 1 plus beta into RC. Therefore, the S dash value is 7th equation. Okay. Now S double dash is with respect to beta we have to differentiate and assume IC naught and BBE as constants. Again, you will get the here as U by V formula. Then you have to differentiate the that U by V form by applying U by V formula. The same thing how we have done for the collector to base bias. We will get this also as IB is S double dash is equal to IB into S by 1 plus beta, where S is equal to this one. Okay. So with this, S and S double dash also can be derived for the voltage divider bias network. Okay. So in all the three circuits, what we have done is we calculate, we drawn the circuit diagram, then we have drawn the DC equivalent by making AC input is 0 and the capacitance reactance as infinity and open circuited the capacitors, coupling capacitors. Then a DC equivalent circuit is obtained. For the DC equivalent circuit, we have applied KVL to the input circuit to calculate the IB and IC. Then KVL to the output circuit, we calculated VCE. Thereby, the operating point is calculated. Then the stability factors S, S dash, S double dash, we have calculated with the expression of collector current equation, differentiating collector current equation with respect to IC naught, we get S. By differentiating with respect to VBE, we get S dash. By differentiating with respect to beta, we will get S double dash. And all these formulas are also derived for all the three types of biasing methods. So this is all about the BJT biasing.